Professional should have good and positive image. And what do we mean by this? Image is the way that something or someone is thought of by other people. The underlying word there is thought of. It might not actually be true about the person, but that's what people think about the person. So the image that people have about you or about someone is usually based on first impressions, formed based on the person's dressing or demeanor. That is mannerism. So the first impressions or the image that someone has about you is so important. And one of the things that people look at when they are making and having an impression is they look at how trustworthy are you when you meet somebody at the first time, consciously or unconsciously, you're thinking of, should I trust this person? Is this person competent? Can he do the work? Is this person a professional? So that is what is always going through the mind of someone. Even in your own mind, when you meet somebody for the first time and want somebody to do something for you, you are in your mind, you're saying, can I trust this person? Can this person do this work? So that's why first impressions are so important. And a professional should always make sure that he has a good and positive image at all times. And like I said, first impressions are based on also addressing and demeanor, what people can see and feel about someone. You don't get a second chance to make a good first impression. And this is so true. This is so key. Research has shown that first impressions are made within the first 7 seconds of meeting a person. So first 7 seconds, can you imagine that? It's so short a time. But based on research. So another research by Princeton even said that it takes less than 7 seconds to make an impression, to form an impression about someone. So that is why this saying that you don't get a second chance, because before you know it, somebody has already finished making an impression about you. So that is why a professional must always be careful about the image he projects, either by the way of your dressing or by the way of your mannerism. Because research has also said that a Harvard study said it takes typically 8 subsequent positive encounters to change a negative first impression. 8 subsequent positive encounters. What if you don't even meet that person that much? The person has already gone with that wrong impression. And that is how so many people miss clients. That is also how people don't get picked for an interview or a promotion. The people, let me say, like you're in a branch office and people from the head office come to do an interview. The first impression they have about you is already putting them off. It's going to take like a person that is very, very objective to really break through that first impression and give you a chance. So it's always good to project a good and positive image. They say it takes 8 subsequent positive, not negative encounters to change a negative first impression. And I believe that it takes the same amount of time or even less to change a positive first impression. Because the first thing is, am I projecting a positive image? Or fortunately, unfortunately, the person that met me for the first time, is it meeting me when was I projecting a positive image when the person came across me, or did I unfortunately project a negative image? So the thing about this is, it's not only enough. You cannot just say, oh, the first encounter, this person had the wrong image about me, or the first encounter, the person has a good image. It doesn't end there. You have to consistently ensure that you maintain and you always project a good and positive image, whether somehow, because we are all human beings. The person might meet you maybe something happened and you are just having a bad mood. So the person can meet you in that time, but you can redeem yourself if you consistently will make it a habit as a professional to always have a good and positive image. So that even if the person, sometimes you see people say, oh, I thought you were this kind of person, but after I now found out that you are not. So it's so very important, both for yourself and your organization, to have a good and positive image. And Kiet Frazi said, in life, whom you meet, how you meet them, and what they think of you afterwards should not be left to chance. That is so true. It should not be left to chance. We should always be intentional about the image we project. We must always be intentional. So that's why first impressions matter, but what you consistently do afterwards matters more. So it's important that we have that at the back of our mind to make sure that we are always intentional about the image we project. And to do that, we have to look at our dressing. That's why it's important. Dressing is also an important part of a professional. Dress. So dress to the level of your clients and your co-workers, or slightly above. That's a general rule. Another rule, avoid flashy jewelry and strong colognes or perfumes. It can be distracting. According to some studies for ladies, they actually say that a bracelet, a ring, a earring, necklace is enough jewelry. But when you overdo it, like the pictures we are seeing, use oversized, very large sized, those are good for events, like out of office events or occasions. But for in the workplace, avoid flashy jewelry. Even guys, some people like wearing heavy chains. It's avoid flashy jewelry. It can be very distracting. The person will leave what to say the job he came for and is concentrating on and what you're wearing. Also, loud, strong perfumes. It can be upsetting to some people. Because, oh, that was that smell. That's too strong. So that's a general rule. Another rule: never wear clothes that are too tight or oversized. I believe the picture tells the story. Then another rule, dress appropriately according to the occasion. If in doubt, ask. It's this is so very important because it can, if you are dressed inappropriately, you can be awkward. I remember when a client we just started off UGM. So I was invited for a client function, evening function, I think it was a send forth or something. And I dressed I was not appropriately dressed. I did not ask what is the occasion, what is the dress code. I just appeared like that, and the way the way I was looked at, even I myself was no longer confident with myself. I just had to sit. Skirts with long sleeves that reveal a lot of the upper leg is not professional. It's not good for the office setting. Hemlines that are too short, like that's not appropriate for professional office dressing. Tight clothes that ride up when sitting or working. Avoid those. You can wear it in your casual events, so evening wears and all that. Shirts and tops that show any skin in the midriff area. Like we know this is the fashion that's in vogue now, but it doesn't project a good image, professional image of you. Necklines that are too low. Necklines that are too low is a no-no. It's distracting. You find the person, maybe you're especially if you're a customer facing employee, you find the person was instead of looking focusing on what is being discussed, the person is looking somewhere else. So it's actually does not project a good and positive image. Then sleeveless blouses worn without jackets, like what we call spaghetti straps or off shoulders. The most times don't project a positive image. If you have to wear them, wear with them with a jacket. Then we go to the male don'ts, professional tips for males. Trousers that are too tight and tapered do not project a good image. Jumping or high ankle length trousers, they doesn't actually show a professional view, professional image of you. You can wear them for your informal events. Then very low neckline or unbuttoned shirts. It is not, it doesn't show or project a good image. The rule for guys is that two unbuttoned, unbuttoning two buttons is enough. Anything more than two, that is the first one where the collar is the first button with the collar and the next, it's okay. But if you're button more than that, it's not usually acceptable for formal or official professional image. It's for very casual settings or maybe parties and the rest. So let's have that in mind. Now, so what does demeanor in when we're talking about demeanor of someone, we're looking at the way the person stands, the person's facial expressions, your body language, and the way you talk. So the way you talk, not actually what you said, but the way you talk. That's what we're talking about mannerisms, the way you do things, knowing and unknowingly. They're already saying things louder that can even contradict what you just said. You might have said something very nice, but the way and manner, the demeanor, or your expression negates what you just said. People will trust what they see, your expressions more than what you said verbally. So it is so important. So we're going to look at